We are calling on Parliament to institute an inquiry into the matter because the chiefs and people of Botiano and Kokrobite have rejected the claim by the police. We believe strongly that an inquiry could bring out the truth of this matter and bring calm to the people of my constituency. I will also urge the people of Botiano, Kokrobite, and the surrounding communities to remain calm and continue to be law-abiding as we allow the competent, relevant state agencies to take up the matter and ascertain the veracity or otherwise of the claim.
Was it for the police to shoot them to death or to attempt to apprehend them and bring them to justice? Mr. Speaker, I think that the proper thing that ought to have been done in the circumstances was for the police to have attempted to apprehend the suspects, because our criminal jurisprudence is grounded on the presumption of innocence.
Police service inquiries are not enough, but if it becomes a parliamentary inquiry, then they have a new set of individuals, members of parliament, probing the matter. And that is when the members of parliament can finger waywardness in the name of policing and then deal with the officers who, by every calculation, may be responsible for unlawful killings of individuals.
We are making the referral to the Committee of Defense and Interior, and we are asking leadership of constitutional and parliamentary affairs to also join the Defense and Interior Committee to look into this matter and report back by the end of this month.
Right, so you just been listening to what took place in Parliament, and of course we know that the police issued a statement and about the shootout at the Botiano, and in the statement which dated the 10th of June, they said that the 5 were suspected land guards. The 5 people in this matter were suspected land guards who engaged the police in a shootout when the police visited the area. It says the police conducted an operation targeting criminal elements involved in robbery and land guard activities. These individuals had been terrorizing residents and landowners in Botiano and nearby communities. They also explained to us that upon detecting the approaching police team, the suspects opened fire from their hideout, prompting the police to retaliate. And that as a result, 5 of the suspects were injured and later pronounced dead at the hospital, while the remaining suspects fled the scene and are still at large. According to the police, they had various weapons, including guns and ammunition, that they seized from them. They included 1 AK-47 assault rifle, 10 rounds of AK-47 ammunition, 1 pump-action gun with 9 rounds of BB cartridges, 2 pistols, and 10 rounds of 9 mm ammunition, and 1 unregistered Toyota Tacoma pickup, 4 motorbikes, 3 of which are unregistered, a knife, and pepper spray, the police reported. Now, it is the police against the chiefs in the area and the elders in the area and the MP for the area, Sylvester Tete, who have all been complaining that these people are known sand winners. They are not land guards, and they have been doing their lawful duty. Let's begin this discussion with Kwame Jan. Kwame Jan is a lawyer who, when it comes to looking at the questions of land matters and questions of land guards, foremost in this country. Thank you so very much for making time to join us, Kwame Jan.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Right.
I warmly greet all your listeners.
Right. As a practitioner, a teacher of the law, even the one behind, the making of some of our laws in this regard, we know that land guard activities are criminal by even the Land Act, which was passed recently, also the Vigilante Act or so. These are criminal activities. So why do you think that the MPs, the chiefs, and some members of the public are questioning the police in what they have done?
Thank you very much. In this country, there are many cases where, because of political expediency, particularly MPs, because of vote and staying in office, particularly MPs and in some cases politicians generally, would not want to face the facts. I have been around the land sector in this country for the last 25 years, since I came back from my studies abroad. And I have been very instrumental in putting together the legislation for the land sector lately, particularly the Lands Commission Act of 2008, Act 767, and the Land Act of 2020, Act 1036. My brother, this thing called Landguards, apart from the killings and the maimings and so on, Landguards present a serious security issue wherever they are found. Mm. They negatively affect the value of properties. If you live in an area with prevalence of landguard activities, property values are low. Because who wants to be part of such an area? But the problem with landguards is, if you look at the Land Act, there is no reference to that word landguard. Right. It doesn't appear anywhere in the Act. Because this thing called landguards, they are multifaceted. There are some people who are like area guys. They are sons of the soil. They are members of the land-owning group. They will just come around when you are developing. They will say, "Fei kusum, do kusum," particularly in the Ghana areas. Do kusum. If you do the kusum, they are harmless. They will just take some peanuts and they go. Yes, their activities are also criminalized in Section 12 of the Land Act, but they don't present a clear and present danger. But how did we get to where we are with landguards? Predominantly, landguards were started by landowners who, because of insecurity of title and tenure, brought in people to come and support them in their contest against their adjoining landowners. And they have stayed and overstayed. So landguards were made by landowners. That's why if you watch, anytime there is police landguard issue, you will see landowners coming on the side of what they will call the victims. Because landguards are made by landowners. They are made by landowners.
Shouldn't it be easy for the populace to support the police in these kinds of, their operations, especially that we know, as a matter of fact, particularly in our towns and cities, especially in Accra, that land guards are known to terrorize law-abiding landowners, and they are often wielding guns and the sort of, weapons that the police talk about. So why is it that when this happens, the public is rather in a hurry to doubt the police.
You'll be surprised. That is why I was telling you, the Landguards are made by the landowners. These guys are known, their activities are known, they are scattered in, like I tell you, I know key areas within the environs of the national capital where they predominate. My brother, they predominate generally around the areas we call the peri-urban areas. The Landguards are very active where land conversion is taking place. So where land is converting from being used as farmland to residential and commercial development. So they are predominantly in the peri-urban areas. And the landowners know them and they use them. So whilst they are doing their bidding, the landowners will always come and defend them. Now, as for the public, who betides you if you pointed at where Landguards are located? Because the public know that if the police arrest them, they will come back to the area. And who betides you? They will know who pointed them out, and they will come and finish you.
Yeah.
So the public are maybe grudgingly keeping quiet. Not that they are happy. But the landowners who are using them are happy.
We know that the Landguards are a threat to us, and we want the police to protect us. And yet, we are fighting the police, quote unquote, for fighting them in the manner they have done.
You see, because some of the people who are talking have not had encounters with Landguards. And you know, these are guys who have influence in their areas. They have influence in their areas. So when they are taken away by the police, you will certainly find some people in the hoods who would come in support of their system. They are not alien to the people. They live among them. Everybody in the area knows that this is what they do. And you know what else? It is the same group and groups around Accra who are involved also in the robberies. They do Landguard work in the day, and in the night they are armed robbers. So there is an inextricable link between robberies and Landguardism. And it is inextricable. And there is also an inextricable link between these same activities and the chieftaincy issues across the country. It is the same guys who are ferried to go and fight in chieftaincy issues in this country. The same guys.
So
the same guys.
How will you propose that Parliament, in looking at this issue, what should they be mindful of, and particularly to the residents and the leaders in the Botiano community? How should they cooperate with police in going forward? Because they are not happy. They say these guys that you have shot and killed are not Landguards. They are involved in sun winning. The police say we found these weapons with them. Why are you carrying these weapons? The police say they were shooting at them. But the police don't tell us if any of their members, got hurt by any shooting.
Yes, but you see, that's the reason when we were putting together the law, we didn't use the phrase or the word Landguard. Because who is a Landguard itself becomes problematic. The law, Section 12 of the Land Act, proscribes certain activities. So, for example, if you go to land in which you have no interest, and you purport to stop someone who has interest in the land from developing the land, we don't call you a Landguard in the law, but the activity is prohibited.
That's right.
So there are certain activities which have been prohibited. And the question is, are these people involved in any of the prohibited activities in Section 12 of the Land Act? Are they involved in any of the prohibited activities? And it takes you back to the Constitution. Yes, everybody in this country has a right to life. But Article 13 of the Constitution sets out the limits of your right to life. that under certain circumstances, your right to life it can lawfully be taken. So ask yourself whether the information the police are giving, is it commensurate with any circumstance under Article 13 in which they can shoot to kill? How many people have been Landguards killed in this country? How many people haven't died on their own lawfully acquired lands? And how many of these people have ever been prosecuted? It started long ago from Ablekuma, when some policemen, Ninja and others, some ECG top executive, nurses were killed at English Yaman from Domiabra. It's so rampant, so rampant. So rampant. Yes, it's painful when anybody is killed, but the law expects that under certain circumstances, life will be taken away. And if life has been taken away, we should just interrogate the facts. Are the police justified under Article 13 to take out someone's life? If they are justified, they are justified. You see, you are running this country into a state where law enforcement is gradually being incapacitated because of all these kinds of agitations, because of vote. Everything in this country is seen in the lens of vote. So people do wrong things, but because you want them to vote for us, we support them. What kind of country are we building?
Okay. Thank you so very much, Lawyer Kwame Jan. He is a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana. And like I said earlier, it's unquestioned. In this country, he's foremost land law expert. And he's written volumes and volumes. And he's been a central part of our laws as far as the area is concerned. So he knows the law in and out. Now, let's find out if the members of parliament who took the floor and spoke and raised suspicions against the police because of the police's own past history. We have had a situation in Kumasi, in Ashanti region, for example, where police, were found to have told a lie in a situation where they killed people. They brought out weapons, ammunition, and claimed they belonged to those people. And the committee found that that was a lie. So those people had to be compensated. Is that enough basis to continue to be suspicious of the police when they say we encountered people who shot at us, who are doing Landguard activity? And like Lawyer Kwame Jan said, Landguards have killed many people in this country, deprived many people, have maimed many people who have lawfully acquired land in this country. Atacha, let's start with you. You were heard speaking, and now two of the committees of parliament have been asked to go into this matter. To what end? Are you not discouraging the police in this process, in their fight against crime?
I have enormous respect for Lawyer Kwame Jan, and I do not support his opinion that because of votes, people want to bring to the fore the necessity to investigate a subject matter that human beings have died. So please, that drumming home this issue of votes, I'm telling you the truth. The NDC and the MPP have converged on a matter, which is to say that we've lost human beings, let's pry into the matter. And we are saying so for the simple reason that we might not want to say that Landguards are not dangerous and a menace to society. We are not saying so at all. And at the same token, we are not saying that we have our saints in the police service. We are not saying that at all, because every human institution is stamped with imperfections. And insofar as we cannot know in advance what are the content of this violence, that is what the inquiry is necessary. And I want to stress that. Today, the version you've read, their lives were in danger. We know that as a fact, that when your life is in danger, you are permitted by law to defend your life. It says so in Article 13 and it's right. And then you also pose a question that, was there any attempt to shoot back? If the police wanted, if their life were in danger because they shot at them, did they also shoot back? Was a policeman hurt and the rest of it? Trust me, we don't have video evidence of this escapade. That is why it is imperative that we have an inquiry in relation to this matter. Now, let me tell you something which is very important. There's what they call the police service inquiry. When I was practicing law seriously, I mean, I've been into some of these inquiries where the police themselves have sort of arraigned another policeman for his waywardness and the rest of it. It has come out as one of the ways to bring discipline to bear on the service of the police. But I'm of the humble view on hindsight that if we're not careful and the police are investigating themselves, then there could be issues of bias and the issues that we should look good to the general public. And even the penal consequences of somebody's actions might not be as strong as it would have been if it were in the hands of other individuals. That is why the call that this matter should have independent investigations is very, very good. And we have also the situation of a history in which some of these police killings are becoming too many. Bear that in mind. Because now, if, as Lawyer Kwame Jan is trying to surmise, the Landguards are in the community, they are known, they even find the activities in chieftaincy matters and do armed robbery. Does the police know this, what he's telling us? And therefore, there is another development of policing in which there is not this ambulance arrangements that should engage the attention. The police should be very powerful and have community informants, and also they do submarine investigations, and they will nip crime in the bud ab initio.
Is that not the case here? Is that not the case here that they may have been following on intelligence, and then they swooped on these people at the time when they had all these weapons and allegedly shot back at them? And Kwame Jan asked the question again. Article 13 of the Constitution, particularly Clause 2, whilst the law says human life is inviolable and no one's life should be taken, it says that there can be justifiable reasons why human life could be taken, including for the defense of any person from violence, or for the defense of property, or in order to effect a lawful arrest, or to prevent the escape of a person lawfully detained, or in order to prevent the commission of a crime by that person. That it says that the police, there could be a lawful force that could be brought to bear, which is justifiable.
I agree, but I'm telling you that when you talk about intelligence, is the intelligence in the ambulance chase and the theatrics, or the intelligence will even nip the crime ab initio. So when you have intelligence and the community is showing that these are the individuals and these are activities, then it doesn't start. You disarm people before, excuse me to say, they go on the crime undertaking. This is what I believe should be the specialty of our police service. Because if they claim they have intelligence, but the intelligence is only used in the theatrics and the killing, then what is the sense of the intelligence? That's what my chief concern is. So if you have intelligence, now some crimes can never start. By the time people say that they've taken their cudgels and machines, and even where they are buying their bullets from and the rest of them, they've been arrested already. So we don't see these things going. But be that as may, for my part, I am of the humble view that what the Parliament of Ghana is calling for is eminently sensible. We should go into this matter and let us come out with the findings. And then the general public will know. If we gather very serious findings that will aid the police in their future conduct, so be it.
Great.
But to say that, oh, it is only the version of the police that should hold sway, I'm not in agreement. In fact, what you read to, what's it called, the general public, the press release, I don't want to say that I want to run down the police, but there are a lot of loopholes in the press, release dated the 10th day of June, 2023. And let the measurement of the police should not be the police themselves. Let Parliament also look at this matter, and we're better off for it. If you are not culpable, you are not culpable. But if you are culpable, then let's send the signals that in the name of holding the powers of the state, life should matter to you. And it's under extreme circumstances when the law enforcement officers themselves have their lives endangered because of operations, that these killings will be justified by law. That is all that we are saying. Nobody is saying that, we're trying to weaken the powers of the police by what we are calling for. That would be very, very unfortunate.
Landguard activities continue to, to happen, to be rife in the places that Lawyer Kwame Jan refers us to, and we know them. Do you think the laws are not biting enough, even though the recent laws that have been passed, criminalizing clearly landguard activities, have taken the sanctions to such heights? People can suffer many, many years, a dozen plus years in jail for landguard activity. And yet, this thing goes on. It doesn't look like it's abating.
Yes, because it's not the law per se that will contain behavior. We should know that sometimes the law functions post behavior. That's when somebody has been arrested and we try and arraign the person before a court of competent jurisdiction for the person to be dealt with in accordance with law. But what is essential, counsel, is that we can do a lot of policing and stop some issues happening before we come and complain that, we knew that some people are in the peri-urban areas and their vocation is landguard activities. But because when you speak like that, you're giving an impression as if you live with them, but you are impotent to deal with them. If you capture all these intelligence, summaries, it's like, we know where they are. They have blended with the society. They live there. They are involved with chieftaincy matters. They also do armed robberies. And these people, if you know this is their vocation, their criminal activity, why is it that you can't disarm them before they function? And that is it. That is the real, challenge with the Ghana Police Service. They should go into these submarine activities, and those who are rehearsed criminals and patented criminals are dealt with before they inflict pain on society.
Okay. But my final question to you, I'll be remiss if I didn't ask that question. Are you as concerned over the matter of the Ashaiman military brutality, which was clear, unconstitutional, illegal conduct by the military against the poor people in that community, as much as you are with this particular one?
I was extremely concerned, and I was on the floor of Parliament saying that you do not brutalize the innocent to find the guilty. It's on the side. I was scandalized that if some people have committed crime, should we punish an entire community in the hope that we'll find the criminals? It was a very outrageous situation we find ourselves. So we are not trying to sort of, do selective advocacy. It matters when Ghanaians are affected. We'd have sort of devalued our office as members of Parliament.
In this case, you are doing more than advocacy. You are going to investigate.
Sure, we should push it to that length, because we don't find Parliament going that full throttle.
Yeah, so that's the question. Are you investigating the arrest of over 180 in Ashaiman and how they were brutalized, clearly abused?
I cannot say on top of my head the final conclusion of the House when we finish the debate. But it does not even stop us right now by your own prompting that we should hold the military to, a committee of parliament and let them explain away why they were beating the innocent in the hope of finding the criminal. It doesn't stop us anything. And okay. I am not worried at all when we are jolted into action. So right. I think what you brought to the fore, I could come back to you and find out what the Hansard said in relation to that military brutality. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, we are aware about your comments at the time, because out of many, particularly in government or with the governing party, you were sort of, an isolation, so to speak, in dealing with the truth as it is. Yes, Dr. Pelpo.
Thank you so much.
This one too, were you heard speaking about it? James Agalga, you were all united.
We were united in that action,
yes.
Because
a member, a colleague of yours brought the matter and said, 5 of my people have been killed by police in the name of Landguards, and the information I have is that they are not Landguards.
Not necessarily because our colleague brought it up, but essentially because we detest any situation where the police, rather than directly arresting people, will kill them even before they are investigated. It is something that Parliament is thoroughly against and will always call for further investigation. But Samson, this tells you that Parliament is a unique body, a constitutional body with its own
You said
character.
Police rather than directly arrest people. You know, it is not all the circumstances that they would have the opportunity to effect an arrest.
That's why
they say they were met with firepower.
That's why we are calling for investigation. In fact, it's time for the IGP, the police service, to mount policemen who are going on operations with cameras. So when they are operating, like happened elsewhere,
they may not have enough, but they have some of them, we understand.
Yeah, when they are operating, but in matters like this where shootout is likely to happen, they should demonstrate
especially when none of their officers is hurt as evidence.
Yeah, so I mean, they should have shown that something is happening, but it's the reason we are calling for investigations. But it also gives truth to what I pronounced, what I said, that Parliament will investigate or Parliament will comment on issues even when they are investigated outside. Otherwise, we would have said the police is investigating. Why are you, Parliament, making a statement about it? I mean, I think you understand that. So if we make statements on behalf of the people, it is a necessity, it is in accordance with our common principle of representing the people. And so this matter is of direct interest to us, and that we want this matter to be investigated. Let it be proven that the people who are attacked and killed are armed robbers. Let it also be proven that they were met with arms, and what happened was just a retaliatory attack, because meeting police with arms is completely unacceptable. The police represent the state, the authority of the state to act in accordance with the laws of Ghana, to protect people and to ensure that people can live in freedom. So when they are pursuing their objective of arresting or preventing a crime, and you meet them with arms, you are simply calling for...
Other aspects have said the police is trained, like any other security agency, to shoot to disable, and not to shoot to kill.
Definitely.
And in this case, all 5 gone.
And that's very, very, very unfortunate. In fact, it's unacceptable. And that investigation we are calling for must establish some true situation which should inform our future actions. Because, I mean, we are amazed, we are surprised, and we are taken aback by exactly what happened. That you are trying to stop a crime, you are trying to get people arrested, and then all 5 of them are killed. None of them is available for you to take to court to answer any question, or to even be given further, to investigate them further, to get to understand exactly what they were doing. So
and like Atachia said on the floor, this situation where something happens and the police is investigating itself, what can you, as Parliament, do? Because there have been civil society groups like One Ghana Movement, who have done papers and asked that there should be an independent commission that investigates police conduct and not the police investigating, itself. I've attended some of these things to represent either a police officer or be part of it for the ordinary person, and it leaves very much to be desired.
That's true. It still leaves a big gap between the police and what we believe in them. Our belief in the police, what they achieve in investigations, and the actuality of it, there's still a big gap. And so that tells you that they need to convince the public more that in times like this, they can be independent, they can provide independent views about issues and bring them out to the fore so we understand them to be reflecting the real situation.
Okay.
So,
what can you do?
In truth, what?
Because we keep complaining that it's not a fair process.
Yes. So until they can be objective, I have a lot of confidence in the present police, IGP. I think that he should put in place a certain system that can convince the public that when they investigate, it is the truth. Because I have also had situations where people are arrested, you go to find out what their arrest is, they have said things that people deny that it is true. And the police must be objective in what they do. And so the call for it is necessary.
In fact, it's also worrying that the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, an NGO, which has been following reports of police misconduct, that the police have issued a statement and said we are investigating. They filed an RTI request seeking to know, and they listed a number of these occurrences where the police are told the whole world that we are investigating, and asked the police, give us updates. What happened in this investigation? What happened in that investigation? The police denied them in the information, just didn't give them the information. And they are still trying to pursue that. Let's see how all of that goes. But we'll take our final comment from Lawyer Kwame Jan. Having heard from the two MPs, what will be your final comment, particularly on how the police and the community, may be able to work together going forward, because you also need police protection?
Thank you very much. I know the two honorable members very well, and Father Atachia is my countryman. And the honorable, I know him because of WA. I know him very well. We are very respected members of Parliament. You see, generally, there is a lot of mistrust of public institutions across the country. Parliament has the oversight responsibility over all these matters because they are the representatives of the people. But there is also public mistrust about Parliament, like the other institutions of state. So, as a nation, it is about time we do those things to bring public trust and public confidence in our institutions. I mean, all the institutions, where I work at the University of Ghana, everywhere there is mistrust. And it is incumbent on all of us to do those things to engender public trust and confidence in state institutions. This will lead to a mitigation of we don't trust the police, we don't trust Parliament, we need to do things to reduce this perception if it is a perception. If it is real, we still have to do something about it.
All right. Thank you very much. And before we take a break and return for our next and final subject to discuss, and this time it is a press conference by the majority led by Atachia and not by the minority led by Dr. Rashid Pelpo. Pa Kofi Letsa says, so surprised at the position of the MP. Let them do a survey, and I can bet that the majority of the people around the area of the incident are happy with the action of the police. These guards are known people in the area but are always released when arrested. I have a bad experience. Sadiq Abubakar says the politicians know the truth but are always quick to dance around the truth. Almost all the sand winners are the same land guards. Thomas Asako, I'm surprised at the comments made by the senior lecturer. We can't take the word of the police as the gospel truth. The Asawasi incident is still fresh in our minds. Nanai Kuyai Jewa says, these land guards are problematic at Gbawe area. They are very dangerous. But the sad thing is that they are protected by the chiefs and police at Gbawe. Latif Idris did a full story on how police were actually neck deep involved in this kind of thing. Don't dreams. You won't understand until you come into contact with these land guards. It is a fierce and dangerous situation if you come into contact with them. If you are able to survive in their hands, then you might be serving a living God. Vine Maxwell says, I condemn every killing of our people. If the suspects really fired at the police is mandated to use the last resort of rules of engagement. If they weren't armed and no evidence cogent enough to support the police actions, the laws must be allowed to prevail. Citizen Marcy says the landowners are protecting their boys. Nanaya Opare, if only you know how happy people in that area are. Baba Chairman, inasmuch as I condemn the police for always killing people before they are investigated, I equally think it is wrong for anybody to suggest that a police officer should be killed or injured before we believe them. Thank you. We'll be right back to look at the questions of take or pay energy contracts and the ballooning debt said to have contributed to our economic situation, leading us to the IMF, and now potentially triggering another era of doomsday. Newsfile is brought to you by the candid sponsorship of Bank of Africa, as strong as a group and close as a partner, MTN everywhere you go. Ashasi University, educating ethical and entrepreneurial leaders for Africa. Robert & Sons Optical Services, your comprehensive eye care service provider for 31 years. Duraplus, how you get your water matters. Remember, where Duraplus goes, water flows. DBS Industries, roofing, Papa Fie. My Way, you dial *165# on the MTN to join My Way today. We'll be right back.